Alrighty. Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to Tone on a Budget. Thanks for tuning in. Today, this is one that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I wanted to give this thing a fair shake. I've had it for a while now. This is the latest edition of the Hofner Ignition series, or the High B bass, the Beetle bass. This one is in like a it's kind of like a metallic white or pearl white. It's got kind of a, I don't know, let's see if you can see it on, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. There's a little bit of a sparkle there. And you can see it's got the white binding around the body. And it's got the Hofner logo. It's a nice looking bass. Okay. I'm going to tell you this much though. The bass does sound good. Let me just, I'll roll through a quick little Beatles tune here and then we'll talk about it. Okay, that being said, it's a cheap bass. There's no comparison between these and the Japanese or the German models. This is made in China. It's a Hofner. You get that woody mellow tone. Well, one thing you need to know. Okay, one thing. There's a few things you need to know, not just one thing. First thing, when you buy one, it's coming with round wound strings on it, which is something no Hofner should ever have. Because you want that nice, I mean, if you're buying a Hofner, usually it's because you're a Beatles fan, or at the very least, early rock, 60s kind of rock. You want that woody, mellow tone. You're not going to get that out of a round wound. Round wounds tend to growl. So I went and I put some Labella Beetle bass flats on this one. I took the round wounds off. I saved them, but I'll never put them back on this thing. So that's one. All right, number two. When I got the bass, one thing I did notice was that I had to set the action kind of high. You'll never get a really super low, fast action on this bass. And that's because of the fret job. The fret job is not perfect at all. If you get the frets reworked, then you'll be able to get a lower action. Another thing I noticed was that this bass buzzed. And I couldn't figure out where the buzzing was coming from. I'm playing all over the thing, and I'm hearing this buzz and buzz and buzz and buzz and buzz. And I couldn't figure it out. And then I finally stumbled on it. I started putting my hand on things. I was holding down the pickup rings while I played. I was, holding the pickups while I played to see if they were rattling or something in there. I was holding down the control plate here to see what that was doing. I was holding, pushing on this to see if this was rattling. And then I made it back to the bridge. And there was this decorative piece right here that consisted of 3 pieces of metal that they were welded across here, and they went, and I don't know how to explain this because this is weird. I'm going to show you. All right, you see the little holes next to the holes for the string balls. Those little pieces of metal just sat in there. It's just part of this trapeze tail piece that made it look all decorative. If you look up the bass, you'll see it. They all have it. But those pieces, they just sat in there. They weren't welded in or anything. This whole piece comes off. These pieces here. Let's see if I can get you to look at this. Yeah, you see these pieces right here, these round things. All right, those are the retainers that hold that bar on there. They unscrew. Once you take the whole bridge off, and they will unscrew, and that whole thing will come off. And then what I did was I removed this thing, this decorative thing that was here, filed down the ends where, you know, because it was just little welds. I just broke the welds off. Filed down the ends on the welds to make them smooth. And I flipped this over so that, because it was welded on the top, across the top. So now where those welds were are on the bottom. And you can't see them, so it looks nice. Anyway, since I removed that, there's no buzz. I get a nice, clean, woody tone. Okay, so that's one thing you might have to do. If your bass is buzzing, if you buy one of these things, you know, they're cheap. They're only like $400. You know, for a bass, it's really cheap. You know, if you get it home, pull it out of the box, you know, tune the thing up, and you hit a note and here's bzzz. Okay, put your hand on this decorative piece that was right here, and see if the buzzing stops. If it is, just break that thing off. You got to take it apart, do it right. You know, take the bar off and everything, pull it off, and then you can rock them back and forth and break the little welds that are on there and take them off. Take a file to it. You know, you can actually hear I'm hitting one of the welds right now with my finger. Let's see if this one does it. Yeah. You know, they're smooth. They're not catching my finger or anything, but they're there. So anyway, that's another thing you're going to want to know. You've got I think this is rosewood, the bridge. It's a cheap bridge, but I mean it works. I mean, you've got this control plate here. My dog is barking. That's with the now somebody's calling me. Wow. You know, I'm gonna let this video continue. Anyway. Okay, that's with both pickups. Okay, you got this button here that knocks down the gain on the pickups, and then you turn on. It's basically for, I think, rhythm or solo. You get a hotter output. All right. Oops. That's the sound of the bridge pickup. Pretty tinny. That's with them both off. This is where I pretty much like to keep it. I keep it on solo. I keep the bridge pickup off, the neck pickup on. that's about it. It's for what it is and for its price point, it's not a bad instrument. It's playable. Um, you know, it's a Beatle bass. You'll be able to get those Beatle tones out of it. Um, it's just, it's by no means a high quality instrument. I wouldn't call it low quality. It's middle of the road. At a low quality price point, just about. It's not very expensive, but it looks good. The fit and finish is nice. I don't see any cracks. I don't see any problems with the paint. I don't see any problems with the binding. I don't see any problems with the neck. It's got a you know, nice chunky neck. It's you know, everything seems to be, fit and finish seems to be pretty nice. Another thing I did was when I got it, I did have to go and tighten all the screws. The screws coming out of the factory, they don't make them real tight. They're kind of loose. You'll want to go and don't tighten them too much. You don't want to strip them out of the wood, but you'll want to put a little tweak on them just to get them snug. And you'll probably want to do that if you play the bass a lot. You'll probably want to do that often, because I guarantee the vibrations are going to cause those screws to come loose again. So you're going to want to do a maintenance thing, and every so often, maybe, you know, once a month, go and take your little screwdriver and just go and snug the screws. Just make sure. Okay, that's it. This is the Hofner Ignition 2020 for 2023. Chinese made Hofner bass, based on the German 500/1 Beatle bass. You know, you want to be like Paul McCartney, here you go. What, you know, and they don't have them out now, but I'm sure at some point they're going to reissue them. They had some, and I'm going to get one if they do. They've got one that's the finish is a British flag, which I think looks really cool. I'll get one of those. They got the standard sunburst, which I don't think the sunbursts look very good. The sunbursts look kind of cheesy. I don't think they're, I don't think they look great. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's been Tone on a Budget. I hope this review has been helpful. Have a nice day. Peace. God bless.